Two products sitting on the same store shelf, different colors, different names, sometimes a $200 gap in price, and in a genuinely surprising number of cases, the exact same machine underneath. This isn't a conspiracy theory, it's a well-documented business model called private labeling. And once you understand how it works across power equipment, you'll never look at a shelf full of competing brands the same way again. Start with riding mowers, since this is territory we've already verified directly. Cub Cadet is manufactured by MTD, which is now owned by Stanley Black & Decker. Craftsman's outdoor power equipment line has been built on those same MTD assembly lines since 2017. In 2022, a single brake pedal defect triggered a recall covering both Troy-built and Craftsman riding mowers at once. Same defect, same root cause, because they came off the identical production line. Owners who've pulled a Craftsman and a Troy-built mower off a Home Depot floor side by side report matching decks, matching engines, even matching plastic trim pieces. 3 names on 3 price tags. One factory behind all of them. Pressure washers tell an even more direct version of this story, because in one specific case, the products aren't just built on a shared platform, they're not even different products. DG Vovio US and Bayotac USA were both recalled by the Consumer Product Safety Commission in 2026 for the identical missing ground fault circuit interrupter hazard. And the 2 federal recall listings describe the exact same model number stamped on the unit. C422 plus 1500C. Same product, 2 different storefront names, sold as if they were competing options. And that pair wasn't isolated. The same year, the CPSC recalled or issued public warnings for at least 5 more Amazon-only pressure washer brands. Ajiman, Petulio Direct, Leihao Tool, Fengrong Tool, and Sweet Crispy, all for the identical missing GFCI defect. 7 storefronts, 1 underlying design flaw circulating between them. When a defective product can simply reopen under a new brand the moment its old name gets flagged by regulators, the brand printed on the box isn't describing the product. It's describing nothing at all. Chainsaws follow a pattern that's been documented for decades, openly enough that it's barely a secret in the arborist community, just one that never reaches the average homeowner standing in a big box aisle. Husqvarna Group owns Poulan, Poulan Pro, McCulloch, Johnserd, and Redmax outright, and Craftsman's chainsaws that don't carry MTD's Incredipool branding are Husqvarna made as well, sharing architecture with the Poulan and Poulan Pro lines. Owners who've serviced both brands report the overlap goes beyond marketing. One forum thread describes a Husqvarna dealer fitting a Husqvarna replacement bar onto a Poulan Pro saw and having it fit perfectly, down to the carburetor adjuster. A homeowner in another discussion laid the price gap out directly. The same entry-level saw sold as a Poulan Pro for around $169, as a Husqvarna for around $199, and as a Craftsman for around $199 as well. Functionally the same architecture wearing 3 separate price tags. Air compressors round out this pattern, and it's the category most homeowners have never thought to question. Husky, sold exclusively at Home Depot, and Kobalt, sold exclusively at Lowe's, are both manufactured by MAT Holdings on shared Campbell-Hausfeld platforms, according to current industry tier guides tracking the air compressor market. These aren't 2 competing engineering efforts landing on similar designs by coincidence. They're retailer-exclusive labels applied to the same underlying supply chain. One industry guide puts it plainly. Brands like these have no independent engineering or manufacturing of their own. They're distribution strategies, not distinct products. Here's the business logic behind all 4 examples, because it isn't hidden. It's just rarely explained to the person actually buying. Designing an engine, a pump, or a chassis from scratch is expensive. The tooling alone for injection molded housings and cast components can run into the millions before a single unit ships. A factory that's already built and paid off that tooling can produce far more units and far more profit by selling the same base platform to multiple brand names than by building an entirely separate platform for each one. Every brand gets to claim its own identity and set its own price. The factory gets economies of scale it could never achieve serving just one label. This is called OEM manufacturing, original equipment manufacturer, and it is completely legal and extremely common. The problem isn't that shared manufacturing exists. The problem is that almost nothing on the packaging tells you it's happening, which means you can end up paying a premium for a name with no engineering difference behind it. Before this turns into assume every brand is secretly the same machine, it's worth being just as careful in the other direction, because that instinct is exactly how myths spread. A common claim making the rounds is that John Deere and Husqvarna mowers are secretly built by MTD, the same way Cub Cadet genuinely is. That claim doesn't hold up. Deere manufactures its own residential lawn tractors, including the entry-level models sold at Lowe's and Home Depot at Deere-owned facilities. And Husqvarna makes its own mowers as well, even while its chainsaw division licenses out the Poulan and Craftsman names. What's real on the mower side is that both companies sell a cheaper, lower-spec tier through big box retail, alongside a premium tier sold through dealers, which explains the price and quality gap people notice, without any shared factory involved. Confusing this company sells two tiers of its own products with this is secretly the same company as that one is the exact kind of overcorrection that makes the real cases, Cub Cadet, Digivovo and its 6 siblings, Poulan and Husqvarna's shared chainsaw architecture, Husky and Kobalt, harder to take seriously. So how do you actually tell the difference before you buy? Look up the parent company, not just the brand name, since a 2-minute search usually surfaces it directly. Compare model numbers and physical dimensions side by side when two products look suspiciously similar, the way the Digivovo and Beotac Recall listings did. Ask a dealer or repair shop whether parts are interchangeable with a cheaper badged equivalent, the way that Husqvarna to Poulan Pro Bar swap worked without modification. And treat retailer-exclusive brands, the ones sold only at one chain, as a signal worth double-checking, since exclusivity is often a sign you're looking at a private label arrangement rather than an independently engineered product line. None of this means the cheaper option is automatically the smart buy, or that the pricier name is automatically a rip-off. Sometimes the premium buys you a real difference. Better warranty terms, a dealer network that actually stocks parts, a company that answers the phone when something breaks. What it should buy you is the ability to ask the right question before you hand over the extra money. Is this a different machine or just a different sticker on the same one?